Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pureglass Podcast. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my podcast. This is a creative space where I give my reaction, review, and deep dives on movies, TV shows, and short films. I've been recording a lot today, so you might see me in the same outfit for like multiple days, but it is what it is. I'm feeling very creative. In this particular video, I am not going to do a reaction. We're not going to watch anything together. What I'm going to do is just do a deep dive on a favorite movie of mine. Everyone have seen it. Everyone watched it. Everyone loved this movie because it's just so cute. Myself included. I like it too. It's a family favorite. We are going to do a deep dive on Matilda. Okay, Matilda, Matilda, Matilda. Now everyone loves Matilda. Okay, I never read the book and I have no desire to. But from the movie, which was phenomenal, she appeared smart, self educated. She was born into a family that was mistreating her. She wasn't being abused or anything. She was just, you can tell she was like an afterthought. Like they definitely made it clear and known that she was a mistake and they treated her as such. You feel me? So there's no surprise there. I feel like the Wormwoods presented themselves as they presented themselves. Like they didn't sugarcoat nothing. They didn't pretend to be some loving family. They was like, hey, you a mistake. We wasn't planning on having any more kids, but here you are. So yeah. They ain't shit. Okay. We already know that about them. But the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And no, I'm not talking about Miss.Trunchbull because she is an obvious idiot too. Like I'm not talking about the obvious idiots in this movie. We're gonna talk about Matilda and Miss Honey because I feel like people overlook those characters because Matilda's kind of like the victim, and so is Miss Honey in a sense, which could be true. Two things can be true at the same time. They both could be a victim of their circumstance, but let's not pretend like they're innocent either. Okay, so starting with Matilda. This girl, ooh, just think about her makes me so angry, bro. Like don't get me wrong, she's smart. She's self-taught, whatever. That's all cool and dandy. But bitch, you got a smart mouth, and I don't like that. Like she just keep talking out of line. Like nobody at all be talking to this girl, and she come out the clear blue giving out math answers. Okay, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to my son, and I don't care if he don't know the answer. No one asked your nerdy ass to blurt out the answer. Wasn't you reading Moby Dick? Keep reading Moby Dick and stay out my business. That's how I feel. So, Mr. Wormwood, okay, Danny DeVito is not wrong. Matilda needs to stay in a child's place and speak when she's spoken to. Example number two. She was in school, right? Now, like I said, we know who the obvious villains are, okay? So we're not gonna sit here and make it sound like they innocent. But Miss.Trunchbull was doing what she had to do to get a student to respect her cake. Okay. And here comes Matilda from the back of the audience. You can do it, proceed. Like, girl, shut the fuck up. No one was talking to you. Let him eat the cake. He probably did eat her chocolate cake. He probably did eat it. So let him suffer the repercussions of his actions. But Miss Matilda in the back want to sit here and be a cheerleader. Girl, you need to get on your daddy. Like I know you thought you was doing something with the hat. That's another thing too. She okay. Not only is she out of pocket, but like I said, she is so rude. Her dad, we know who the obvious villains are, okay? But this man, not once in that 90-minute movie, did he ever sit here and struck this girl? He never locked her in a room. He didn't put her in a chokey. So why does she feel the need to bleach his hair with peroxide and then glue the hat to his head? You know how much trouble I will get in. Well, they didn't know it was her. But still, my parents, and I'm sure every kid has a story about how their parents pissed them off in their childhood, how they felt misunderstood, how they wanted to run away. If that was your story, I get it. I've been there too. I can't tell you how many times I packed a suitcase with a couple of toys. Okay, I've done it, but not once, not once in my mind, my childhood, childish mind, not once did I think about poisoning my parents or making their hair fall out or mixing up their medicines. Like not once has that ever crossed my mind. And maybe it came across some of y'all's, but I feel like that level of thinking is diabolical. Like that girl is just too smart for her own good, and that's what makes her scary and a prick. Okay? Mm-mm. 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 Now, the other thing, because she spoke out of line like maybe 5 times in that movie, Miss Honey was talking to the class about math. Like this, she really thinks she's a calculator. She was going over the timetables, double digits, triple digits, whatever. Here comes Matilda. I don't even think she raised her hand. She just started blurting shit out. Like this girl needs to learn her place, and she needs to learn how to conduct herself around other people. I feel like because she was left to be alone so long and she was left to pretty much raise herself the first 5, 6 years of her life, she just felt like she could just talk and say stuff and no one's fucking talking to you. So that's what gets on my nerve with her. Um Now Miss Honey, okay. Like I said, again, uh we know who the obvious psychos are, like the crazy people in this movie. We know Miss.Trunchbull ain't shit. Okay, we know who the obvious victims are. Miss Honey is clearly a victim of some type of abuse. Why can't I talk? Miss Honey is clearly some type of victim um of abuse, whether that be physical, emotional. Miss.Trunchbull ain't shit, okay? And she even killed Miss Honey's dad, aka her brother. She killed her own brother so she can what was it, get access to all his stuff, because that house I think is her brother's. I don't think that's her house, so she wanted to get off his assets. That's why she killed him off. Now, knowing that you have this crazy aunt and you are aware of the shit that she done, you know what type of person that she is. Miss Honey looked like she was around, I'm gonna say late 20s, early 30s in that movie. She could probably be around that age. If I knew that someone was or had did something wrong to me or whatever, ain't no way in hell my grown ass will be working for them in the school with like 4 or 5 employees. We saw no other teachers. We didn't see a vice principal. We saw one janitor who was also the cook. Okay, so no, Miss Honey's stupid and she kind of a perv. Now, this one might go over y'all head a little bit, but let's just, do a little deep dive. So Matilda been in that school roughly, I'm gonna say a semester, because we don't know. She roughly been at that school for about a semester, and Miss Honey was so excited because this girl was so smart that she wanted to take her to her house for some milk and cookies. Now, if you went home to your parents and told them after a week of school, hey, my teacher hey, my teacher think I'm so smart. She invited me back to her cottage for some milk and cookies. Every black mama will be enraged. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, Miss Honey was way out of pocket. And there was another situation that kind of went unnoticed. Like, bro, it was within, again, the first week of school. And this chick's popping up at Matilda house talking about she ready for college at the first grade. Girl, like, if you won't leave me alone, if I were the Wormwoods, I would be upset too. Here I am, trying to restore the color to my hair that my demonic child ripped out. And this creep popping up in my house unannounced at like 7, 8 o'clock, handing out homework, talking about my kid ready for college. Like, girl, this is what parent teacher conferences are for. Why are you popping up at my house trying to hype up my daughter about college? And she's just literally just started school. Like, that girl weird. And then she going on secret missions with the kid and peeping in her former house. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that is her house. She going on secret missions with this child, letting her enter all her secrets in her life. Like, Matilda was clearly easy prey to Miss Honey. Like I said, Miss Honey was giving perv and weird vibes from the jump. Cause I wouldn't be working at that school anyways, knowing that I was mistreated, mishandled as a kid, and you took my daddy away from me. Like, I'm definitely not gonna work for your crazy ass. you She had good intentions, okay? She did, but the events that happened in that movie had to have been within the school year. You mean to tell me, and I don't even think it was a whole school year, I think it was like a couple of months. You mean to tell me you built a relationship with that child that quick and that strong that you wanted to adopt her? Again, I didn't read the book. So if anyone is want to be all like, oh, it's not like that, the book, I don't give a fuck. I'm going based off what the movie showed me, and I'm doing a deep dive on the movie. I don't care about what extra details and what the book really said. I don't care about it. No, because if that detail was important, they would have put it. They would have put it in the film, but they didn't. So Matilda and Miss Honey is crazy as shit. They're perfect for one another. And at the end of the day, this wouldn't have went down in the real world, period. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. But I know this review, this deep dive is probably gonna go over a lot of y'all's heads. And I hope that it's some crazy people out there that think like me. Whew, sorry, when I talk, my sinuses get really, really bad. I know that there are some people out there that think like me. Okay, that be like breaking down these movies and think like, why did they do that? Why did this happen? Now that girl out of pocket. That's what this podcast is about. So if you want to sit here and be all politically correct and talk about, it's just a movie or they just doing their job, I don't give a fuck, and you can leave this channel because that's not what we're doing here. We're having fun. So Miss Matilda. Yes, she's out of pocket. Miss Honey is a perv, and I said what I said.